Kavis 80, back with another video for you today. This one is on tuners. Which tuners should you use when you practice the violin? And I can tell you the tuners that I use and recommend a couple for you that are pretty cheap. And we're going to go ahead and start off with probably a couple of the best tuners that I've owned. One is called the Dr. Beat, which looks like that, Dr. Beat tuner. Kind of expensive. It's has a tuner and a metronome in it that can subdivide, can count for you. It's very loud. An excellent tuner, except that it does take some space in your violin case. So you can actually get a smaller Dr. Beat, which looks like that, a little bit less expensive. That operates on a different battery. And I don't use that anymore because there's so many apps now. And I can show you the tuner that I use right now, which is great, is a combination actually of the T1 tuner, which looks like that. And I'll put a screenshot of it up there. The T1 tuner is really good because you can see that you can see your pitch in real time. You can see your pitch in real time, so you know whether your bow is actually impacting the pitch, which happens a bit. I'm a hair flat. I'm going to go up. And I like being a hair higher than the note that I'm tuning to. And these are tenths of a cent, which is barely even noticeable. So the green section in here is showing you a 10-cent difference. So I'm going to play an A and I'm going to make it out of tune on purpose. 10 cents flat. 10 cents sharp. 10 cents flat and back to A. Now, should you tune after you tune your A, should you tune your D to this or your G? See how the D, when I tuned with the T1 tuner, was slightly flat and the G was even flatter than the D in terms of cents, 100 cents being 1/2 step. That's the A. Well, pretty good. A little flatter. Should you tune each string to this tuner? I would say no, because there's something called octave stretching that, if you've never heard about it, is incredibly confusing. And I'm going to spare you, but it's pretty normal that when you tune a fifth on a violin and it sounds good to you, that is pretty much in tune to your ear and to the way string musicians play and to the way singers sing, that it's going to sound natural. The piano itself is kind of shrunk. If the octave is stretched out, it sounds good slightly, like a 1 or 2 cents stretched out from fifth to fifth or octave to octave. The piano kind of shrinks that to a more general pattern that can play with more instruments because it has so many octaves in it. And it's not the best explanation in the world right now, but I can't think of another one. But generally, we like to hear those open fifths. And if you're playing with other string musicians, you would adjust your other pitches in relation to your Ds and As if you're playing in D major, for example. Let me go on to another tuner, and that tuner is, and you're seeing all my apps here, Clear Tune, also set to 440. Clear Tune, the app, which it makes a sound. And the T1 app also makes a sound, but I like Clear Tune because you can change the note. Because if you're playing in G major, for example, you could have a drone where you can leave that G on as a drone, like a G major, part of a G major chord that you're adjusting to, but you can also, it's kind of annoying, you can change let me see where it is. You can change the waveform. You can make the sound of it slightly different. So here's an A with a different kind of sound. Hear that? This is kind of more natural sound. Or you can change it to, I like the square wave sound because it's so obnoxious that I can definitely hear it when I'm teaching. You hear that? It's a little buzzier. Clear tune. And you can, if you want to, you could tune all your strings to you could tune all your strings individually if you want. There's the A, there's the D and G, etc. You could tune, if you're a beginner, all your strings individually. That's fine. But it's better to tune with open fists, like I said. So let's talk about a third tuner that I use lately. Remember, I use the T1 to check when I'm probably more when it's quiet and I'm practicing. And then if it's noisier, I'm using my phone with that. You can actually use it with headphones, so you're not bothering anybody. Then the third tuner I'm using is this, and this is the D'Addario clip-on tuner, and it has a light on there. I don't know if you can see. There you go. Let me get out of the way so the camera focuses. Is it saying D? Oh no, that says G. Anyway, here is... This is the D'Addario clip-on tuner, which is great. It's battery operated, and I'll put a picture of it up here. Battery operated tuner, which is really useful. Clips on your violin. If you're worried about sound absorption or your violin being marred by a clip-on device, then don't buy it. This is a more inexpensive violin that I use for wedding gigs and playing with my wedding band. And the reason why I like this one, although it's not as accurate as the T1, it's not as good as hearing the pitch with the clear tune or a regular tuner. The reason why I like this is I'm plugged in to a pedal. It's called the DI, and on the DI I can mute myself, and the tuner on my DI is not very good, so I can play a note pretty much this loud while the band is playing, mute myself on the pedal, and because the band's so loud, nobody in the room is going to hear me playing because the band's covering me up, and I can tune while I'm muted on the pedal. I'm not going into the PA, and then I can unmute myself, and I know it'll be in tune. You always have to remember to, in a pinch, to turn it off because the battery does drain, not too fast. It is one of those quarter-size batteries that you have to change every couple of months. That's the D'Addario, and I'll link that down below. I'll link the Dr. Beat devices down below. There's also a Korg tuner, which a lot of guitar players use when they first buy a guitar. It's kind of nice. But I definitely recommend ClearTune, recommend the T1. If you have iPhone, you can get it pretty easy. I don't know if it's cheap or free, but there's a lot of free tuning apps. But some of them, I don't know if I like the sound of them. And anyways, there's just a couple ideas for you, and you can get started on your way to tuning success, if it's called that. Kavis 80, got a lot of stuff down below if you want to click around on my channel. Gear reviews, I got exercises, scale exercises with notation. I got free lessons. I got original music. I got violin covers, and I think I have a camera review in there too. Thanks so much for watching the end, and we're going to see you in the next one. Thank you.